wow. I started full-time with Tracy Alvey, so I think this upcoming season will be our 10th year. I worked part-time prior to that, so I believe I've been here about 15 years now, in one capacity or another. I learned to sew from my mom. She had learned from her grandmother, so it was something that I had done for my children, making costumes, and as my daughter continued to dance, I assisted with those costumes as well. So that's sort of how I came to sewing. Actually, I like to say that it's an odd thing how you come to the places that you do as an adult. I actually came to this position through my daughter being a dancer. It wasn't something that I had pursued on my own necessarily, but by helping with productions backstage and working, that's how I got into costuming here at the ballet. Well, usually you start off with a plan. We like to think what we might have an outline of what we want to do for the day, and then you can promptly throw it aside as soon as you walk in the door. There could be PR things to do, there could be fittings that need to be handled. What we do here is a variety of things. We might be handling a rental, going out, a rental coming in. We're building or constructing or maintaining costumes that we have. So we do have an outline of our plan, but you have to be very flexible. We have, I couldn't even begin, thousands of costumes. I don't know if a lot of people realize how extensive our inventory is. We own the full-length productions of Capella, Giselle, Cinderella, Nutcracker. We have older versions of Nutcracker. We have pieces of Swan Lake. We've built a number of contemporary pieces. So, along with just individual, smaller one-act ballets that we also own. So we own quite a few costumes. So we have Capella that we're trying to process and put back upstairs. Part of that is also about to go out on rental. We are returning Fall River Legend from our show this past fall. My big focus this summer will be on our new production for next season, which will be Bonnie and Clyde. If there are pieces that we can thrift or purchase, we'll do that as well, especially for a piece like Bonnie and Clyde. A lot of the hats, that sort of thing, we'll try to look for, so we don't build everything. But then there are a couple of iconic looks for Bonnie that we will be doing and constructing here at the show. Well, we're always doing laundry. We have laundry to do in between each performance. The way we do our shows here, it's multicast, so there's a lot of sharing here. So obviously you have to maintain and upkeep, repair. Depending on whose cast, we might have to let something out and then take it back in for the next person. Any repairs that need to be done, touching up shoes with painting, supplying makeup. Every now and then we help with hair or wigs if they're used. Makeup is usually personal to the dancer, or Roger and Tracy will assist with makeup usually. But, and then of course, just the nature of the physical activity on stage means that sometimes things break, straps break, so we're often in the wings waiting to sew something back together for a dancer. The number of layers of net that are in a tutu, I like to tell people the cost of materials to make a tutu will average anywhere from about $25 to $30. Your time is pretty much priceless because it will take a while to build. In the 7th layer, there is a hoop layer. So in a classical pancake tutu, you do run hooping through it, so that helps it stay flat. And you can adjust that to make it really flat, or you can make it a little looser. So we had in Nutcracker Soldier Doll, one of the soldiers split their pants and did not wear black tights underneath. He had on his nude dance belt. So I'm sure that was quite interesting to the audience. Ongoing trials and tribulations, I think, are the bells on candy canes. A lot of everything tends to revolve around Nutcracker. We've lost slips on stage, and they've had to use a hook to hook it and pull it back off the stage so it would be out of the way. think that might be the worst that we've ever had happen. Point shoes, I think people don't realize how much time that can actually take up. With the dancers, obviously they want the best point shoe available. Company women, we do tend to focus on a little bit more, working on a special, developing the shoe that is the best for their foot. But as a whole, we try to place multiple small orders during the year. So I'm ordering constantly through the year. That way that dancer, if they decide to change their shoe or if Tracy wants them in a different shoe, they're not obligated to use 20 pairs of point shoes that they don't want any longer. But the boys aren't quite as difficult or as expensive. The girls' point shoes take up a lot of time. Our Capella, we were speculating during the last production, we believe it's about 45, 50 years old. I feel like costumes in ballet tend to last for a number of years because of how well they're made to begin with, and a certain production will only come around maybe every 4 or 5 years. The exception to that is Nutcracker, which we do annually, and those costumes therefore end up taking the most of our time. We work on Nutcracker year-round to try to keep it in good shape. So if they're well made, and for classical story ballets, they can last 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah.